At ngayon, pakinggan ang Governor ng Quirino, President, Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, National Chairman League of the Provinces of the Philippines, Governor Dakila Carlo E. Cua.
To our DepEd family, headed by Secretary Liling Briones, all our undersecretaries and assistant secretaries, to our regional directors, superintendents, school heads, teachers, parents, to my fellow government leaders, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Sa ngalan po ng Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines o ULAP, na kumakatawan sa lahat ng mga lokal na opisyal at syempre mga local government units. Kami po ay natutuwa at nagpapasalamat sa inyong imbitasyon ngayong araw sa inyong National Kick-Off Program na may temang angkop na proteksyon, patuloy na edukasyon at mabisang aksyon. Sa tingin ko po, lahat tayo nagkakaisa na marami talagang mga uncertainties na hinaharap ng buong bansa. Kasama na rin po ang larangan ng edukasyon. Kaya lalo tayo dapat magtulungan, lalo po tayo dapat makipag-ugnayan, lalo po tayo dapat magsuporta ng isa't isa. Asahan niyo po ng inyong mga local government leaders at ang mga LGUs ay kapartner ng DepEd sa paghahatid ng edukasyon, paghahatid ng serbisyo, at syempre kasama rin dyan po ang paghahatid ng collaboration and feedback upang ating lalong ma-define ang new normal at mahanapan ng maganda at maayos na solusyon, delivering education but at the same time protecting the health of our children and our teachers as well. So maraming salamat po, mabuhay po ang DepEd at mag-ingat po tayong lahat. Stay safe po.
Magandang umaga Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng mga Pilipino sa buong mundo. Good morning DepEd Philippines and welcome to the National Kick-Off of School Readiness for School Year 2020-2021. Tayo po ay napapanood mula dito sa DepEd Soc Sargent, lungsod ng Coronadal, Rehiyon 12. Bago tayo mag-umpisa mga kaibigan, nais po nating aniyahan ng lahat saan man kayo naroroon ngayon. Tayo po ay magsitayo at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas, Lupang Hinirang.
At pagkatapos nating awitin ang ating pambansang awit, mangyari lamang na manatiling nakatayo para sa isang ecumenical na panalangin.
Amo duata no mabani kede mat mabaabelem nim kalafos ni ani iyo nuya gami hon yom DepEd ani iyo magdana yom implementation MDL duhon yo kam dumo learning modalities maba kede kanga managi ma ni ba region 12 duhon baklamang ang Pilipinas hol benay mi katangon benay mi kagis na benay mi hayuklo ani gamo manim kanlung mi bayom des mogaw ni o amo kam tao malak kam tuha kam nga managi na kamastalo na kadeen hol bembaya mi amo hol nuya kami amo doata hol san bekas mi de bayom kakbong nawa duhan yom tulusam hal mafasang bakade hal hanungo mo amo nim tapa makom nakokam nahuwitan yom basa go abele ani mo yo mo para bakat na satu bele hal hanungo yom tapa ma amo doata sonan.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من البرص والجنون والجذام ومن شيء الأسقام ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nakibahagi sa ating ecumenical prayer. Ang panalangin ng ating mga katutubong kapatid ay ibinigay ni Benji Emmanuel sa saliw ng plauta ni Delmo A. Dulay. Ang ating namang Muslim prayer ay sinambit ni Nasruddin C. Said.
Ang Christian prayer naman ay inawit ni Geraldine Timbang na sinamahan ng pagtugtog ng violin ni Vincent Carl Takardon.
Sa puntong ito, mga kaibigan, marapat lamang na ating kilalanin at bigyang pugay ang mga haligi, hindi lamang ng kagawaran ng edukasyon, kundi ng iba't ibang ahensya ng ating pamahalaan at ng ating mga partner organizations na patuloy na sumusuporta sa pag-unlad ng edukasyon sa ating bansa. Ang okasyong ito ay tunay na pinarangalan ng kanilang pagdalo.
Joining us this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is no less than the Secretary of the Department of Education, Leonor Lamoris Briones, with the members of the Executive Committee. We also acknowledge the presence of our governors, city mayors, League of Municipalities, municipalities of Region 12, regional directors of national line agencies of Region 12.
At ngayon, upang magbigay ng kanyang pambungad na pananalita, narito ang Regional Director ng DepEd Soc-Sargen Region, Alan C. Parnago.
The strength of the nation is seen on how it prepares its children for the future. Author unknown. Good morning, Philippines. Region 12, Soc-Sargen Region is truly honored to host the national kick-off program on school readiness, drawing confidence from the passage and approval of the Joint Regional Task Force COVID-19 and Regional Interagency Task Force of a resolution declaring support to the Department of Education on the opening of its classes on August 24, 2020. I thank all the members of the Joint RTF-RIATF led by the Honorable Dato Suharto Teng Mangudadato Alhads PhD and the RDC Chair, Honorable Mayor Ronel C. Rivera. Today, we have just experienced an almost 2 hours of shame brought about by some technical glitches that I cannot even comprehend. Our almost 3 weeks of preparations are now hanging on the gutter. Today, we learn that lesson to bring us confidence come August 24, 2020. Shall we give up because something went wrong? As we launch our national readiness today, we also solicit on the readiness of acceptability, the readiness of flexibility, the readiness of being able to sacrifice and change course of events when, as we planned for months, will turn out to not work as planned. Getting confidence from the men and women of Region 12 who, despite of 2 hours of shame, gathered their hands together and put on the greatest resolve on courage. Region 12 promises to you, we will. Today, we celebrate too the strong leadership of Secretary Liling Magtolis Briones, who despite of and in spite of continue to provide the leadership in these challenging times, together with the EXICOM, the regional directors, schools division superintendents, school administrators, and everyone for braving the challenges of COVID-flavored education, where our Secretary's battle cry is, education must continue. As we do our launching today, we want to give the highest honor to all the faceless and nameless teachers whose preparations and hard work are bigger than their fears, the module writers, videographers, filmers, radio-based instruction script writers, and announcers, module courses for making this national launching of school readiness truly dignifying through your efforts. On behalf of the schools division superintendents of the 9 divisions of this region, together with our Assistant Regional Director, ARD Fiel Y. Almendra, and all the men and women of Region 12, we welcome you to the Handang Isip, Handa Bukas National Kick-Off Program angkop na proteksyon, patuloy na edukasyon, mabisang aksyon. Kung saan sinasabi namin dito sa Regions 12, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat RD Alan sa iyong mainit na pagbati. Ngayon naman mga kaibigan, para sa kanyang pambungad na mensahe, ating salubungin ng isang masigapong palakpakan, Honorable Ronel C. Rivera, Alcalde ng General Santos City, na siya ring chairperson ng RDC 12.
Good day to everyone. Indeed, the year 2020 has been eventful and very faithful for all of us. But the fact that we are here today during the national kickoff program of Handang Isip, Handang Bukas means that we are adjusting, we are fighting, and we are getting ready for the new normal. Congratulations to the Department of Education for bending with the blows of this pandemic and showcasing your capability to adapt to the sudden and rapid changes. When COVID-19 hit us earlier this year, we did not expect that it will turn our life upside down. All the planning and preparation that the national government and our local government unit did for 2020 was thrown out of the window. We did not expect na masisirado ang mga businesses, establishments, and most importantly, our schools. While we are slowly starting to open up our businesses to help jumpstart the economy, it is important that we also put effort and focus on the education sector. Our children cannot afford to lag behind in their education. That has been one of the most consistent campaigns of my administration. From day one, partner natin ang DepEd sa ating commitment to providing rooms, increasing capacity, and developing our education sector's capability because that is part of our mandate and commitment. We should maintain that compliance with the mandate and that high level of commitment even in the face of this pandemic. Sa mga palangga natong ginikanan, salamat sa pagsalig sa gobyerno sa padayong pagpa-enroll ninyo sa inyong mga anak. Sa inyong simpleng pagpa-enroll sa inyong mga anak, ginapakita ninyo ang inyong pagsalig sa gobyerno na kaya namong tudluan inyong mga anak nga dili sila maulahi sa ilang pagskwela ug dili sila mabutang sa delikado. Once again, congratulations to the Department of Education and to our parents and teachers. Daghang salamat sa inyong sakripisyo, serbisyo ug pagmahal sa atong mga estudyante. Palanggata mo, daghang salamat, keep safe and healthy, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Ronel Rivera, for that very warm welcome to our participants. The welcoming part is not yet over, though. We listen now to the welcome message of Honorable Steve C. Solon, Governor of the Province of Sarangani.
Congratulations, DepEd, for the opening of classes this August. I just want to tell you that Sarangani is committed in partnership with DepEd to provide quality education to the Sarangans. We have been working together to create different modalities to ensure that quality education is delivered to the students of Sarangani. I just want to say that we take this COVID pandemic very seriously. We put health above everything else. And because this pandemic is beyond our control, Sarangani, DepEd, its private partners have decided to improvise, adapt, and overcome this situation by providing different means and ways to keep education going. Kailangan po na ma-instill sa character natin ang new normal. Habang wala pa tayong vaccine, we need to make sure that our families and our neighbors and ourselves are safe by avoiding large crowds that we get in schools and to simply avoid face-to-face learning until the vaccine comes. So congratulations again, because DepEd Sarangani has come up with their program in partnership with the Sulong Karunungan program of the province of Sarangani, has come up with a modality or a system called LR on Wheels, and this will provide online learning to the people in the area, especially in the areas of the uplands. It will be a streamed online teaching tool that will help not only get education to the household, but will keep people safe by preventing mass gatherings in schools. So congratulations, Sarangani, and by God's grace, this LR on Wheels will be a great success and will be a spearhead for other divisions all over the country. I'd like to say thank you to DepEd, to SDS Mosqueda, to Ma'am Donna Panes, and for all the DepEd officials for coming up with such a innovative way to improve education in Sarangani during a pandemic. And I am convinced that Sarangani once again can become a best practice example for other divisions all over the country. By the grace of God and with His guidance, we can make this distance learning work for us. I'd like to thank the private sector who has been so helpful, all our education partners that have come together as one group to help bring quality education to the Sarangan. So again, DepEd, congratulations, God bless, and Sulong Sarangani.
The year 2020 brought new beginnings for the Department of Education. Ready to pivot towards attaining quality education, DepEd was hopeful of the challenges ahead of it. But as DepEd continued to work on its commitment, the world suddenly faced a steeper dilemma. Around the globe, countries like the Philippines had to shift their priorities to respond to a public health crisis brought by COVID-19. Schools had to be closed, activities had to be halted, graduation ceremonies had to be canceled, as people were urged to stay at home. A new normal dawned upon us. As soon as DepEd realized the impact of these disruptions in education, it began to proactively craft its learning continuity plan last April to ensure that learning opportunities will still be available. Consulting with partners and advisors through the Education Forum, as well as legislators, teachers, parents, learners, and the general public, DepEd made sure its LCP encompasses the concerns of the whole education sector in responding to the crisis. Its topmost priority being the protection of the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. To make informed decisions, DepEd first analyzed relevant data and epidemiological picture for the incoming school year. DepEd also issued guidelines on its required health standards to be adopted in all public and private schools and DepEd offices following DOH and IATF protocols. It covers 4 COVID-19 mitigation objectives, namely, to increase physical and mental resilience, reduce transmission, reduce contact, and reduce duration of infection. The LCP also outlined how learning continuity will be ensured. It streamlines the K-12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies and allows the use of distance learning, homeschooling, and blended learning modalities. since conducting face-to-face classes will be a risk in most areas, DepEd has anchored its delivery of education to modular, online, TV and radio, or a combination of all. Guided by teachers, modular learning will allow learners to use self-learning modules in a format applicable to learners' capacity. In online distance learning, teachers will facilitate and engage learners' participation through the internet, whether synchronous or asynchronous. TV and radio-based instructions, on the other hand, are converted lessons fit for the broadcast medium. The LCP assures that all our learners, including our SPED, ALS, Madrasa students, can still access education even within the confines of their homes, and ensures that their household capacity will not hinder their right to education. To make this possible, our joint Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela is assisting the preparations for the rollout of the LCP. On May 8, the LCP was approved by the IATF. The President also gave it his full support and expressed his commitment to meeting the financial demands of its execution. The implementation of the LCP will not be easy. It is not a perfect plan, and complications can be expected along the way. But extraordinary times call for extraordinary and proactive measures, and the Department of Education is ready to address the challenges along the way with the help of our national and local government, partners, parents, and learners. As one nation, learning opportunities shall be available in this brave new world for our Filipino children.
Ating mga kasama sa Department of Education family, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga guro at mag-aaral at ang ating host region dito sa Region 12 at lahat ng ating mga partners mula sa mga local government units, sa Kongreso, sa development organizations, private sector, civil society organizations, academe, at sa lahat po ng ating mga kababayan, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ang natunghayan po ninyong buod ng Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan o ang tinatawag naming BALCP, ang tugon ng DepEd sa hamon na magampanan ng pamahalaan ang tungkulin na patuloy na makapagbigay ng oportunidad na, sa edukasyon ng sa ligtas na paraan sa kabila ng COVID-19. Ang tanong po ay ang mahirap na hamon ng pag-implement nito at hindi po biro ang ginagawang paghahanda ng DepEd para ma-implement itong BELCP. Mayroon po tayong siyam na readiness components upang maisakatuparan ang pagtuturo ng ating mga anak sa ligtas na paraan kahit di ngayong panahon ng COVID, mula sa enrollment, pagbabago ng curriculum, pagkakaroon ng iba't ibang distance learning delivery modalities, ang pagsasaayos, ang pag-adapt ng learning resources, ang pag-adapt din ng assessment, teachers training, pag-mobilize ng resources at pagkakaroon ng health standards in our offices and schools, at gayon din ang regional contextualization na siyang matutunghayan ninyo mamaya. Humingi po tayo ng tulong kay Teacher Emmanuel L. Maglasang ng Gutad National High School at kay Teacher Levin Pabriaga ng Mambog Elementary School para ibahagi ang ating update sa mga readiness components na ito. So tunghayan po natin ang inihandang AVP sa tulong ni Teacher Iman at saka ni Teacher Levin.
Magandang araw! Ako po si Teacher Iman at ibabahagi ko po sa inyo ngayon ang mga paghahandang ginagawa ng DepEd para sa pagpupunan taon. Kasama ko rin ngayon si Teacher Levin. Tara, Teacher Levin, simulan na natin. Alam mo ba, Teacher Levin, na noong June 19 pa lamang ay naglipas na ang DepEd ng Basic Education Learning Ako po si Teacher Iman, or BELC. Ito sa inyo ngayon ang mga paghahandang ang pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral ngayon na ng COVID-19. Kasama ko rin ngayon si Teacher Levin. Ngayong taon, pagdaanan natin na gagamit ng printed or digital modules, online learning, at TV and radio-based instruction. Alam mo ba, nagpapalapos na ang DepEd. Magandang araw, ako po si Teacher Iman, or BELC. Ito sa inyo ngayon ang mga paghahandang ang pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral ngayon na ng COVID-19. Kasama ko rin ngayon si Teacher Levin. Ngayong taon, pagdaanan natin na gagamit ng printed or digital modules, online learning, at TV and radio-based instruction.
Salamat sa tanong mo, Nanay Marieta. Huwag kang mag-alala. Hindi kailangan pumasok ng mga bata sa paaralan ang sagarin sa application ang pagkakasal ng IEF sa Willogan at ng Department of Education ang mga bata na nag-aaral ng mga bahay sa pamamagitan ng
At yun yan, isa sa mga bagong ipag-ipan natin yung taon, Teacher Levin, ang blended distance learning. Oh, ito naman ang tanong mula kay Lolo Willie ng Cebu. Takot ang mga magulang sa COVID-19. May mag-enroll ba sa pasukan? Naku, Lolo Willie, masaya po kami ibahagi sa inyo na higit na sa 22.7 million ang nakapag-enroll mula kindergarten hanggang grade 12. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, Lolo Willie, ay naabot na natin ang more than 80% ng kabuuang bilang ng mga nag-enroll last year. At mahigit na ito sa Adjustment Enrollment Target na isinubite ng DepEd sa National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA. Mula sa kabuuang 22.7 million, 21.2 million ang nag-enroll sa public school. Katumbas ito ng 93.90% sa enrollment last year. Kaya naman excited na ang DepEd na simulan ng school year na ito.
Totoo yan, Teacher Iman. Excited na talaga akong makilala ang ating mga mag-aaral. Tanong naman ni Teacher Babylin mula sa Binyan, Laguna. Ang hirap po talaga magturo ngayon dahil hindi kami makapagklase ng face-to-face. Paano kaya namin magturo ang buong K-12 curriculum ngayong taon? Teacher Babylin, batid natin ang hamon na dala ng COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya naman, pinabuti ng Department of Education na piliin na lamang ang most essential learning competencies o MELCs ng K-12 curriculum. Mula sa 14,171 ay mayroon na lamang 5,689 na learning competencies. Pinili ang mga MELCs na ito upang mabigyan diin ang pagkatuto ng pinakamahalagang kaalaman, kasanayan at kaugalian na dapat matutunan ng mga bata. Bukod pa rito ay mas mapapadali ang paggawa ng mga learning resources para sa distance learning.
Kaya-kaya natin to, Teacher Babylin. Fighting! At ito naman ang question mula kay Aris na isang grade 8 student mula sa Angeles, Pampanga. Wala po kaming pambili ng laptop or tablet. Paano po kami makakapag-aral? Tamang-tama yung tanong mo, Aris, kasi maraming nagtatanong yan. Hindi mo kailangan mga ba dahil isa lang ang online learning sa mga distance learning modalities na inihanda ng DepEd. Kung wala kang laptop or tablet, pwede kang mag-aral gamit ang modular or ang TV and radio-based approach. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, gumawa ang DepEd ng mga self-learning modules na pwedeng nakaprint o kaya naman ay digital. Pero bukod sa mga self-learning modules na ito, pwede rin gumamit ang mga paaralan ng mga sumusunod. MELC's map textbooks, activity sheets, MELC's mapped or aligned supplemental learning materials, SLM-based or MELC's aligned videos or radio-based instruction. Marami sa mga supplemental learning materials na gagamitin ngayong taon ay ibinahagi sa atin ng mga partner organizations. Kaakibat nito, may mga natukoy ng iba't ibang paraan ng assessment na maaaring pagpilian batay sa uri ng teknolohiya na meron ng guro at ang mga mag-aaral.
Ang daming bagong mangyayari ngayong pasukan, Teacher Iman. Siguro, naisip nila, paano naman ang kahandaan nating mga guro para sa pagbabagong ito? Para matulungan ang mga guro, nagsasagawa din ang Department of Education ng iba't ibang trainings tungkol sa distance learning. Kasama dito ang mga programa ng National Educators Academy of the Philippines o NEA. Nagsasanay din ang mga supervisors at mga school heads para mas masuportahan pa ang mga guro. Itong huling katanungan ay mula kay Kapitan Hurley ng Cagayan de Oro City. Tuloy pa rin po ba ang school-based feeding program kahit hindi napapasok ang mga bata sa paaralan? Dahil pinahahalagahan ng Department of Education ang kalusugan ng mga mag-aaral, ay isasagawa pa rin ang School-Based Feeding Program o SBFP. Iba't ibang estratehiya ang gagamitin para isagawa ang SBFP na alinsunod sa required health standards at mga alituntunin ng DOH at IATF.
Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nagpadala ng kanilang mga katanungan. Sana ay natulungan natin kayong mas maunawaan yung mga bagay na pinag-usapan natin ngayon. Bago tayo magtapos, nais natin pasalamatan lahat ng mga nakatuwang ng DepEd sa paghahanda para sa school year na ito.
Tunay niyang naging malaki ang kontribusyon ng ating partners sa Oplan Balik Eskwela at Brigada Eskwela para tugunan ang mga pangangailangan sa BELCP. Ito ay nakadagdag sa ibang estratehiya na ginawa ng DepEd, gaya ng muling pag-aangkop ng budget, paggamit ng Maintenance and Other Operating Expenses o MOOE at Special Education Fund o SEC.
Malaking bahagi rin sa paghahanda ng DepEd ang pagbabayanihan ng mga field offices, mga paaralan at ng pamayanan.
Higit kailanman, ang tagumpay ng ating mga mag-aaral ay nakasalalay sa ating lahat. Tara na at magbayanihan tungo sa
Handang isip, handa bukas.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat kay Teacher Iman at kay Teacher Levin. Totoong tinitingnan natin itong BELCP, hindi lamang isang emergency response, kung hindi isang investment para sa hinaharap ng ating edukasyon. While there will be expectedly learning loss in certain areas, there will at the same time be quality gains through innovations and lessons from our education response to COVID-19. Ito pong BLCP ay kumukuha ng lakas from the resilience of the DepEd family, especially of our teachers and our partners. And DepEd seeks your trust and cooperation for the full implementation of the BLCP para sa edukasyon ng ating mga anak sa ligtas na pamamaraan sa panahon ng pandemya. Naniniwala po kami that together we shall overcome the challenges of school year 2021. Handang isip, handa bukas. Maraming salamat. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
mga piling rehiyon dito sa Pilipinas.
Kung merong malalayong paaralan ay masasabi nating ang access ay magiging malaking hamon para sa mga kaguruan. Subalit, ito ay hindi naging hadlang para sa division ng Davao de Oro, Region 11. Kung merong malalayong paaralan ay masasabi
The coronavirus disease is a new sickness that is highly contagious and should not